We often see self-worth as a result that we're gonna achieve. Once we achieve something, we're gonna feel worthy, instead of as a prerequisite for achieving something. Or not even a prerequisite, but a source of achieving and building the life that we actually are excited to live. When we have this mindset, instead of it leading us closer to achieve whatever we desire to achieve, it causes us sabotage our own path and our own results, right? So here's the very curious thing I want you to know and understand, and after reflect how it manifests in your own life. We learn love from our mothers, and we learn it from age of 2 to 7. We learn self-worth and self-value, self-recognition from the father figures in our lives. And most of the time we learn it in the age 7 to 15. Why it is so? Because our moms, our mothers, they don't need to recognize us. Like we come from them. They spend already 9 months with us while we were in their bellies. We are part of them. They nourished us. They carried us. With father, it's a little bit different. And I'm not saying father doesn't love the child immediately, like after the conception. No, I'm not saying that. But it is a different experience for mother and for father. For father, when the child is born, it needs to recognize it as his own. And it doesn't mean someone cheated on someone. No, not at all. It's just human biology and human psychology. So we do not judge it. We just try to understand it and see how this understanding can help us to live our lives better, right? So knowing this, we can start to understand how a lot of things tied to love, how we love ourselves, and how we give love to others will be related to our relationships with our mother. There is this concept, mother's wound. I don't like it because wound implies something hurtful. And you know, whatever it was, like we can always alchemize it into our biggest blessing. We can always alchemize it into gold. So instead of saying wound, I say relationships with our mom. Everything that's related about how we see ourselves, our self-worth, self-recognition is related to our relationships with our father, and mostly around the period of age 7 to 15. When and if there was a lack of relationship and lack of recognition from our father figure in our lives, what we do as adults very often is chase one certificate after another, read one book after another, do one course after another. We constantly gonna be seeking improving ourselves, believing that we are not enough. A lot of self-worth we can attach to different diplomas that we hold. For example, there is a way to practice thing and learn things through the experience. And a lot of times people who try to fill the void of the relationships or lack of relationships with their father, they will seek, instead of experience and knowledge, they will seek certificates. We can also observe it in corporate environment, how people climb and what motivates them to climb corporate ladder. People who chase, instead of self-expression, they chase a specific position, signature in their emails. So very often it relates to the relationships on the father's side. And I want to be very clear and I want to emphasize that it's not good or bad. It's simply good to become aware of these things. And then from that point, we know how can we make our life, our experience of life better. Because it's important to remember that whatever we do, whatever we achieve, whoever we date, whichever position we hold, nothing and nobody will be able, fortunately or unfortunately, that's for you to decide, but nothing and nobody will be able to fill that void within us that was created because of lack or form of relationships with our mother or father. Okay, now we understand where it's coming from and how we form that void within us. Now, what to do about that? Thing number one, understand that the concept of self-worth is very, very abstract. Is as abstract as the concept of Santa Claus. Why? Because if I ask you the question, how will you know and when will you know that you feel worthy? You're not able to answer me this question because there is no answer. Like, for example, if you achieve everything that you want to achieve in that moment, how will you measure that now you feel worthy? It's not gonna happen. You probably have achieved a lot of things already, and then it's like, well, where is the promised happiness? Where is the promised self-worth? Where is the promised self-love, right? But I want you to understand that this is the concept that's impossible to measure. So when we understand that the concept is way too abstract, that also allows us to relax a little bit into it, meaning it's like, well, I'm chasing something that doesn't really exist. It's like it's an invented concept in a way. And the second thing, which may sound maybe a little bit too spiritual or esoteric, but stay with me and explore the possibility, explore like, what if I allow myself to view it that way? Maybe it helps you to live your life in a better way. And if it does, then why not to adopt this perspective, right? I want you to view yourself as the pure consciousness that contains unlimited love and unlimited self-worth. And this pure consciousness is like an ocean. The way you express yourself, what you achieve, the number in your bank account, the projects that you take, the relationships that you have, the country that you live, this all are just different expressions of the consciousness that you are. These all are just different expressions of ocean, meaning different waves. The wave can be in different form, different shape, can hold different force. The wave forms from the ocean and becomes an ocean. And the wave is never separated from the ocean. Meaning, if you view yourself as a consciousness, ocean of consciousness, that contains unlimited love and unlimited self-worth, and everything is just like waves of different expressions. When the wave is forming and the wave is bigger or wave is smaller, it doesn't affect the depth and the magnitude, the vastness of the ocean, right? Meaning, whether you close that sales call, you land that project, you have that relationships or not, it doesn't affect your self-worth. Whatever is the size of wave, ocean remains the same because wave is part of the ocean. Do you follow me here? And I understand that it may sound a little bit too spiritual for some people, but as I said before, allow yourself to explore it. Next time you take that call, next time you have that meeting, next time you do something that maybe usually would affect your self-worth, maybe you approach a woman or a man, allow yourself to entertain this concept that you are a field of consciousness, ocean. And whatever are the fluctuations in this immediate reality of yours, your self-worth is not being affected by that. So no matter the magnitude and the size of waves, no matter the breaking point of waves, I'm using the breaking point as a metaphor for failure, for example, which like, we never fail, we learn. Our job is to learn in that moment. If we don't learn, then maybe we fail. But like, as long as we learn, and it's our responsibility to extract learning from every experience. But okay, that's off topic. Let's come back to the self-worth. So whatever is the expression of wave, your self-worth remains unchanged. It's solid. Like nobody can touch that. Nobody can change the depth of that. Nothing. It's solid. It's there. It's deep. It's vast. Nothing can affect that. And the little homework for you to do is think about the situation when your self-worth you felt as if it's being fractured. Maybe it was a breakup, maybe it was unclosed sale, maybe it was the promotion that you didn't get, whatever happened in your life. But take a few minutes to journal about it and first write how it affected you. And then write how would you feel if you would embody the understanding, inner standing that your self-worth is like a vast ocean. And these happenings, fluctuations of life, are just different waves that cannot affect the vastness of your self-worth. And when we apply this concept of the ocean as a self-worth, then we also understand that the self-worth is not the goal, but the very source for the wave to form. That project that you want to do, that business that you want to build, that relationships that you want to have, that life that you want to design, use the ocean of self-worth as a source for that, as a source for that wave of relationship, for that wave of business, for that wave of whatever achievement you are going towards, your vision. For the moments when the self-doubt feels too overwhelming and too heavy and pressing you down, so you are unable to take the action, or for the moments when you need more inner alignment, when you need to return to yourself, go to check out my 15 minutes practice somewhere here. I'm gonna put it here. It will reset all your nervous system. Go to check it out and get addicted to different ways you can expand your view on yourself and on the life that you are living and creating. Live beyond the ordinary.